prioritization is how to prioritize long term and break things into smaller steps. So I'm assuming for the long game, right?
Yeah. Well, so prioritize for the long term is basically like prioritize for anything else. You have to be clear about what you want to do, and it means that you have to say no to other things.
Right.
That's just what it comes down to. And we have a separate video on that, which we can link to, right? Where I think that's the thing that people don't want to acknowledge or aren't aware of when it comes to prioritization. The key practice is saying no to other things. That's how you prioritize something. You say no to other things. So that's what you need to do, whether it's long-term or short-term, basically. What was the other? How to break stuff down.
Yeah.
How to break stuff down. Yeah.
Into smaller steps. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I don't think I have like a great recipe for breaking stuff down into smaller steps. For me, it's like how you slice a cake, Well, there's the cake and you start slicing it.
Yeah.
That's basically my approach. And what I mean by that is when I make a plan, like whatever, for a business, right? For a new business, you go, okay, well, you have a sense of this is the end goal, and you know that some components are needed. So for a business like Ikario, right? You have an end goal of, okay, we want to be able to make content that teaches people valuable skills. We want to be running workshops and doing stuff like that. How do we get there? Well, we need to have content that attracts an audience. We need to monetize this whole thing somehow. And we started with online courses, right? So we need to have these courses, and then we need to have content that brings people in and brings them into these courses, right? So essentially you have this, the way I see it is like, okay, the end result would be you have lots and lots of content, or you have a content production machine, right?
Right.
And it produces content that attracts an audience, and some of those people in that audience go and buy your courses. So what are all the components you need? You need a process for making content. You need to start building up that content library, and you need these products to sell people. And so you basically start lining them up, right?
Right.
It's like, what can I tell you? It's like, well, if you want to have 5 courses to sell to people, you got to start making a course.
The first one.
Yeah, you start making the first one. And, and the same with like, okay, you want to have like a content library covering the topics of productivity, for example, because one of the things we sell is productivity related. So you start making, you make a list of these are the things, these are topics we need to cover, these are the questions we need to answer. You make a list and you start making this content, right?
Right.
So, and I think an important part here is that I don't have a perfect plan, I don't have the perfect sequence of which product do I make first, which content piece do I make first. It's not perfect, but I just go like, well, I need to get to the end of this, so I'm going to start. Yeah. and obviously I prefer shipping. So I prefer shipping sooner than later.
Yeah.
So, if there's a plan of I want to make these 5 courses, I'm probably going to make a small one first. Rather than being like, okay, I want to have this one epic multi-week program and it's going to take me weeks and weeks to put this together and so on. Well, I'm not going to do that first. I'm going to go, I could teach people some things about how to stop procrastinating, and I can put that together in a weekend. I'm going to do that first, right? So that I can like get it out the door, check it off. And that's also what we did very early on, is like we did some rapid fire, like short courses very quickly. And we basically batch recorded our first, 5 or 6 videos to start the YouTube channel and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And
it kicks off the momentum as well,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
As opposed to if you do like the, 9-week course first, you're like, oh my God, it's been 3 months. I'm still building this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I would approach it. And I think that the main takeaway here that maybe would help a lot of people is like, don't be a perfectionist about it, right? It's like nobody has a perfect plan. Also, like I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs, right? I know a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and it's the same. Like there's, some people become very systematic in their career, right? There are some people that I look up to them. It's like, oh my God, it's unbelievable how good you are at like planning stuff out, But most of them aren't. Okay, most entrepreneurs don't have this, this perfect long-term plan or whatever. Most entrepreneurs is like, they think maybe one or two projects ahead. It's okay, we're going to finish this thing and then start in that, and then we'll see what happens, kind of thing.
Right.
And this includes people who are like wildly successful. So don't think that you need a perfect plan.